Hey, welcome to Glitch Please.
No, we'll add that later.
This is our special E3 edition. This is, and it's brought to you by Dollar Shave Club and Casper. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. But the most important thing is we're at E3.
Wow, the set looks really different today.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why. Yeah.
So this episode is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club and Casper Mattress.
Yes.
So here's a trailer from War of the Planet. We've seen that trailer quite a bit this week.
Yeah.
Well, you can never have enough monkeys throwing. Sorry, apes throwing grenades.
Thank you.
I'm so very excited about it. I mean, we've
You're
talked
taking
about
it so personal.
Emotional.
So emotional. But I'm super excited about it. That Gus was saying earlier that Planet of the Apes was one of his favorite classic sci-fi franchises. I'm like the exact opposite. When I heard they were making Planet of the Apes movies recently, I was like, oh, no one's going to watch that. But then the movies came out and they were awesome. So.
My favorite ones are like literally the ones they made Mystery Science Theater episodes out of. Like the real late game Planet of the Apes where I'm just like, good. I'm glad we're admitting how terrible this is.
Yeah, it's like some Star Trek stuff too. It's like very well intentioned, and in a lot of ways like a noble effort, but just bad.
It's like oh, you tried.
Yeah.
I didn't even see the first new one until the last one came out because I was so sure that I was going to hate and not care about these new Planet of the Apes movies. And then I was like, oh, pleasantly surprised, Planet of the Apes.
They didn't get a good lead-in from Mark Wahlberg. No offense, Mark Wahlberg, but that was not a good Planet of the Apes movie.
He will weather your criticism.
It's Lincoln, but a monkey.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah,
they took the twist, and then they retwisted.
And then it was, but no, that was not good.
Anyway, that's E3 basically in a nutshell.
That's pretty much all of E3. If you were looking for the big announcements, the hot takes, you got them. We're done. We can go.
It's actually surprising to me that in the last few years, I can't remember the last time it happened. The movies to games movement is kind of over. It's like they don't really turn movies into video games anymore.
Or, I mean, they do not to the degree that they did.
Yeah.
There was a while there where every movie definitely had a game tie-in, and that game tie-in was without fail bad.
I think that stuff goes to mobile now, or it goes to like a VR experience now.
I think mobile's
they figured out the
definitely taken
ones
over.
that are gonna work, and like Battlefront, Star Wars.
Yeah.
That is a new movie to game title.
Well, I think that's what you get with movies to games now is it's like it has to be a movie, but also a comic book, but also a book. It has to be like 100% transmedia, and then they're like, cool, game.
Yeah, I mean,
owned by Disney. No offense.
Owned by Disney. No, none taken. I am owned by Disney.
Who is it at this point?
This shirt brought to you by Disney. No, I mean, I wouldn't. Would you consider Battlefront really a movie to game
I think they're
property?
universes now.
No,
there's like things will exist in the it's the Star Wars universe or something, but it's not necessarily like Battlefront is not. It's not like it's an adaptation of or like what the one that came out last year wasn't. It's not an adaptation of like Force Awakens or Rogue One. It's just a Star Wars.
Also, I know where all those properties have gone.
A Star Wars where?
I know where all the movie to game properties have gone.
Where'd they go?
They've gone to Lego.
Yeah. Legos all
Legos
about
just give them to us. We'll do it right.
And they do. They make an enjoyable game that I can play with my kids.
Lego Babadook was my favorite Lego game. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Just all the little in-jokes and Babadook references, if you're a real Babadook fan, it's just
you
real
know
good.
the lore.
If you know the Babadook lore.
But it's also it's nice
The
to
lore
have
of the
something
Duke.
Not a
for
casual
the
Babadook
adults,
fan.
for the kids.
Got to read between the lines a little bit.
Right. It's got some some subtle adult Babadook humor there.
Two things I've never understood.
For the kids.
Super easy misses on a gigantic level, in my mind, in the gaming industry is one, why the hell doesn't Steam make their version of a console? Valve make a PC that is minimum specs, can be easily upgraded. Call it a Steam box or whatever that.
You mean like the Steam
There's
machine or
Steam
something
machine?
something like that? What if they
No,
called
but
it
I mean
a
like
Steam machine?
their thing. That's a licensing thing.
It is a licensing thing.
They
did
never
not
made
produce it
their
first
own.
party. No.
Like and even just call it a console, and then at the same time they could release all their threes: Left 4 Dead 3,
I mean,
Portal
they kind
3,
of did.
Half-Life
That was sort
3.
of the story a couple of years ago. But they came and went so quickly. Like,
They're doing
no one
it
bought them.
I think Valve is being super smart in that they own so much of the money that's coming in from games now that they
they tied Steam to Half-Life 2.
Right, and so now they can say, well, here's a hardware spec. We don't want to make it because hardware, supply chains, manufacturing, all that stuff is like crazy expensive. Why would we do that when we can just like charge you to put a little Steam authorized Love by Valve and let somebody else do it?
Yeah.
Steam
They don't need that money.
Even
Steam
people in my
managed such
family-
an amazing thing. They managed to make a DRM platform that people are
People get mad when you don't have Steam DRM on a
Yes.
game. They're
Yeah.
just like, why is this not on Steam?
I don't trust
Why don't I
this."
truly own this?
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember when Steam came out, everybody hated it because it was tied to Half-Life 2.
Oh yeah, I've got I actually have a GIF on my laptop that someone made back in the day. It's of the Steam logo that goes around, just going up a dude's butt.
Yep. Like a perpetual machine.
Yep.
So the other miss, I like going back to the movies and games thing. It seems to me that Pixar, somebody could take on, make about 10 or 12 key hires and have the best gaming division in the
for
history.
sure.
You just take them first-party assets and just
Yeah.
flip them right into an engine.
Exactly. Just take all those first, and I think the
Just polygon them down, maybe a fraction, just a hair.
Not even too much these days. Not with the way things are going.
some of the Pixar games have been like, to me, I mean, obviously it's the gold standard animation right now, especially 3D animation. But some of the games have been like, why is this so bad? It's because it's a third-party developer who doesn't get anything from them. You know what I mean? Because they're working on the movie.
They just make so much money though. They're just gonna all do cookie clickers or whatever they're doing now. Like the Disney IPs, whatever. It's so easy now to just make. It's easy and it's cheap to make a mobile game with a bunch of microtransactions in it that then the kids will play and they'll just tap the button a whole bunch and then they're gonna run out of taps and then they're gonna buy more taps.
Well, I mean, they took a big swing with Infinity. It seemed like
Right.
something that they were very uniquely positioned to do.
I agree.
They kept all the control creatively over Infinity. And, Infinity was great, but it was great sort of more as like, I like the toys. They sit on my shelf. The game was pretty decent.
The toys are very cute.
Yeah.
Were you excited about the Ubisoft title that had the ship you could build on your controller? Was that
That's
Ubisoft?
me. That was me. I tweeted in all caps about that.
You're excited
Physical
That's
about that?
exactly
DLC
my kind of plastic
microtransactions.
garbage.
Oh man, that's my nightmare. Is that in fact they had one little throwaway line at the end of that presentation where the speaker said, "Oh, you can also be able to collect these things digitally." I'm like, there you go. I'm okay with that.
They said that, though, but I really want to know how the system works because it showed them interacting with the physical object as if that was actively changing the in-game thing.
Right,
so
and
that
then
makes
something that you change on the ship, like you put a new thruster or whatever on it, and then your
Right.
ship in the game is updated.
So
Well, they
do I
have
can-
something like that in LEGO Dimensions where you can swap things out without actually physically putting things on the portal. It's definitely much more satisfying to have the physical thing and swap it out, but you can do it equally well with a command in LEGO Dimensions, and I imagine they'll do the same thing. The one big question that I had about what is StarLink? Is that what it's called?
I think so.
StarLink. My question about StarLink is like, is this stuff gonna be like blind box?
I was wondering the same
If
exact
it's
thing.
blind
Yeah.
box, I'm gonna lose all my money on
Yep.
StarLink.
StarLink Battle for Atlas. Yes.
Which, if it would make sense. I was sitting there watching it, thinking, okay, why wouldn't I just buy the best guns
Yeah.
for my ship? It's because it might be blind box, and you might just have to buy a bunch of these.
Well, it
things
did
to
look like
figure it out.
I bet they have a ship starter pack.
Sure.
Which is going to be your base ship. And then you got, maybe you'll get some run-of-the-mill stuff. But, I mean, are there going to be, like, blue items, orange items? Are we going to have a rarity?
Oh
Is it
yeah,
gonna
I
be,
mean, what if my ship has a bunch of colors and
Can I get a Black
it
Lotus?
doesn't look good? It looks like one of those cars where you've replaced each door with the different replacement door from the junkyard.
It's like Destiny before you have any shaders. You just look like a nightmare ragman. Your little junk ship comes up in the StarLink universe, and everybody's like, "Oh, poor you."
All I can say is I hope that in the days around launch for StarLink, when they're shipping all these ship parts to like retail outlets somewhere, that a bunch of EVE Online players show up and like knock over some of these things and like steal all these little ships and everything else. That would be great. They defend their turf in real life.
Yeah, I mean, look, EVE Online players are not messing around.
They don't mess around.
They get in a tiff and destroy tens of thousands of dollars worth of stuff.
I was going to say, they want to hold down the crown for...
It's digital, but they can make the transition to physical anytime they want.
Well, the battles rage for like 20 hours sometimes over multiple days. Like they just keep going and going and going. It's actually something.
if you don't cath at the beginning, it's all over.
Well, if you know what?
You know
If
what?
you don't
gotta
cath
cath.
up at the beginning,
Yeah. Otherwise, you need a
Gotta get
bunch of
that
empty
cath
mason
in.
jars.
You're going to lose the battle. You
Oh, I
gotta
see. I
gotta-
actually thought you were talking about something that EVE Online players know about. I'm like, I'm learning something about EVE Online here. EVE Online does seem like a very daunting community to try to just jump into.
Oh, you can't. We had when we were doing Rev 3 Games, we had an editor who was super into it, and he wanted to do a feature on it. And he's like, I'm going to join EVE Online. I'm going to get into this. And he had to have like multiple phone interviews because you can't just go into EVE Online at this point and like buy a ship and start. You'll just get murdered. You have to be part of a corporation. And so you have to interview to be part of one of these corporations. And they don't just let you be a pilot. Like you literally have to work your way up from the EVE Online equivalent of a mailroom to do this.
They have like a shit farmer or what?
Yeah,
I love
basically. You're an indentured servant, and they're very they're very locked down because they're worried about espionage between corporations.
Which happens all the time.
Yeah, somebody starts a second EVE account,
Wait, I can
joins
be a
another
spy?
corporation.
Oh, yeah.
There is a great book called The Histories of the Great Battles of EVE Online that came out this year, and it
like
is
an
absolutely
actual book.
fascinating.
This is a book. They do have this. There was one player or something who infiltrated another corporation and ended up stealing like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of credits or something, and making off with it. And it was a thing that happens in this game. It's fascinating. I haven't played EVE Online since it might have been late beta or early release, and what I played is nothing like the game that exists.
Yeah, it's totally different
I
now,
had
yeah.
I had my little tiny ship. Had my little icon in the corner with my face, and I would go and mine stuff, and then I would set a bunch of skill up things, and then go to sleep and let them train overnight, and come back and mine some more stuff, and then go, what am I mining towards? and then
What is my life?
and then,
What am
and
I
then
doing?
yeah,
How
and
is
then,
this a game? What
and
am
then
I
stop
doing?
playing. Yeah.
Well, I can't help but notice we keep gravitating in our breaks or now on the podcast towards conversations about PC games. And I think that's probably a reaction on our part to the fact that there's not much PC stuff at E3 anymore.
And succulents.
It's
Well,
succulents, thank you.
Let's not forget them.
I think
Succulents have become a major theme of this show.
Well, I've been
succulents
pushing
definitely
hard.
huge.
This was unexpected.
happened organically.
Yeah.
The
Ah!
chat. Wow.
I think there is a lot of PC stuff, but I think the PC stuff now also is tied to at least a semi-parallel console launch, and it's
Right.
And if you are not a massive publisher, or even if you are a massive publisher, it behooves you more to ally yourself with one of the console hardware makers, become part of their presentation, and get the hype for your game that way, rather than try to do it on your own. Unless you're Bethesda, in which case you fucking own all of E3.
Right.
Well, I mean, yeah, basically every game announced on the Microsoft press conference was also a Windows 10 title.
Which is a secret play, I think, or, it's happening, on the fly here.
What is this? What is happening over here?
Gus is mad because this is how long I've known Gus. I can just read his body language. I couldn't hear the conversation. Here's what happened. Gus came in. He goes, "Why is the podcast started?" I was supposed to be on it. They go, "Because you were late." And he's
And he
like,
says,
"I was."
"No, I
He
was not
corrected
late."
everyone in the room. I was not late. Here is my schedule. And is that what took place?
That is exactly what you The invite I received to film this said 5
Said
p.m.
5 p.m. We ended up moving it up a half hour, mostly so that we all get out of here a half hour earlier.
No, I appreciate
sleeping.
that, but I was drinking down the street. I was like, I got time. No, wrong.
I could totally read all your body
Gus,
language. Couldn't hear a word you said.
I should,
Is my bad guess.
so we're gonna start over, right? I mean, just like
Yeah,
do it
hold
a
on,
while.
hold on.
Let's start
Let's
the show.
start all over
Whatever,
again.
Let's do.
Hey everybody,
lights down, lights up.
Casper Mattress.
It was all like a bad dream that you wake up.
Hey, welcome to
Hey.
Glitch, please.
Featuring Gus Cirola.
Dude,
Everybody tunes in to see what Little Gus is gonna
Get a
say.
little close, Gus.
Sure, why not?
We'll
I'll
get
even-
these
My-
pillows.
my
I'll
new-
even
my new
get my
favorite
feet off the
phrase.
couch.
My new
Yes.
favorite phrase that Trish said: "Tiny heinies."
Everybody's got
Tiny
tiny
heinies.
Tiny
heinies.
heinies.
Yeah.
Tiny
That's
heinies in there.
Oh my god, Trish was such a mom
I
before
know
she
what
was
I
even
can
a
do.
mom.
Yeah, ditch
So
the
great.
pillow.
No, I was gonna put it behind me so that I can reach the floor with my
Oh,
feet.
Look
Good
at you.
call.
Do you want another one?
I got a booster. Yes.
There you go. Now you can have that one.
If you need a succulent, I think Ryan can hook you up with that.
Yeah, I got a succulent.
What we're
Use
saying
it.
is, like, I think that's the play. Like, that seems to be the only way to break up what is arguably a monopoly that Valve has with Steam on the PC marketplace. I mean, it's just like there's no real other option. Even people in my family who don't understand gaming, my kid's
They
mom,
know
they asked me,
Steam.
she's like, why does everyone go to Steam to get this stuff? Is there nobody else? And I was like, nope.
Well, I mean,
Microsoft Store and Origin, that's about it.
Well, there are options that are less well known. The hardcore crowd,
Like
hardcore
GOG.
crowd knows. Yeah, there's
GOG,
or like Green Man Gaming, or
Yeah.
Or if you're,
you know,
into,
there's
the
a Humble
if
Bundle,
you're into the
or
independent stuff, you usually go to like itch.io is blowing up for like small publishers and indies.
Hey,
Look who's
look
here.
who it is.
Look, Kuser, you want
my
to fit in
stars.
with? We're gonna.
You got tiny heinies?
Hey, good to see you. It's LeVar Burton, everyone.
We call that a walk-on in the
Yeah.
industry.
See again?
So, LeVar, I gotta ask,
schooled
what would
there.
it take? What would it take? What would have to happen in order to get you to come and play the Star Trek Bridge Crew VR, the
Yay.
VR
Yay.
game?
Working on it.
It would have to. You would have to promise, because I got into so much trouble the last Extra Life.
Oh,
You would have to promise that everyone would be on their best language behavior.
Oh,
We
sure.
would do that. It's
we
a real
only
easy way.
need you to curse.
No, that's what happened last time.
We only
That's what
need
happened
you
last
to
time.
curse, man.
You would just have to promise that everyone would be on their best language behavior.
I can tell you exactly how we do that. We fire like 4 people. Then
Right.
I know I got their
Starting
names
with
in my
Mika
head.
Burton,
No.
that's because
Who has
she's
a mouth like
trouble.
a
He
sailor.
did say best behavior.
Sabotage.
Stop it over there, you. How dare you? Come on.
Like a
Sabotage
sailor.
from within the family.
Like a sailor, my daughter speaks. Like a sailor.
Have you seen some of the coverage she's been doing?
I have.
Yeah, she's been going out on the show floor and touring and showing us what we can't see because we're trapped in this room all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your favorite booth so far, Mika?
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft, she says.
Yeah.
Ubisoft booth, huh? Have you been on the floor?
Yeah, we every year for the last 6-7 years we do a father-daughter day, one day at E3. This is our day today. We begin with lunch, with a crustacean feast, and
Crustacean feast.
yes.
What's the best crustacean?
Well, it depends. Crabs are nice, unless of course you're wearing
You have
them.
to be on your best behavior.
Wow. Best
You
behavior.
have to be on your best behavior.
I was on the best behavior. It wasn't me.
We can't look out for you if you won't look out for yourself.
Abort.
This is lovely because this is so wonderful because once a year, I actually, with my father, spend an entire day trying to explain to him what E3 is again.
Right.
So this is very nice.
I like the father and child bonding over video games. Like, people were really touched recently. Terry Crews put out that video where he explained like why he wanted to build a PC, because he felt he was losing touch with his son and wanted to understand video games, and felt like this was a good activity they could perform together where he could enter the world and really kind of try to understand what the attraction is. And I think that having a parent understand and play video games with their child is great.
Mika and I began with CD-ROM games and graduated.
What was the
to-
very first one? Do you remember?
No. Before that, no. Like Pajama Sam.
Oh, yeah.
Pajama
Math
Sam.
blasters.
Right.
Super solvers.
And
Fighting
Carta.
Force. Yep. And then Lara Croft Tomb Raider, and then we went through all of the platforms. I still have my Dreamcast.
Love my
Really?
Dreamcast.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Right. And now look at her.
There used to be some
Working in the video
fine
game industry.
edutainment. I was like, there was Oregon Trail. I remember Number Munchers. I played one. It was I think one of the early CD-ROM games I ever played was The Island of Dr. Quandary.
What
And
was
it's-
that?
I don't know that one.
It was weird. So you get onto an island, and then you you get turned into a doll by like an evil sorcerer or something, and so you have to try and turn yourself back into a human by solving puzzles.
Dr. Quandary.
Dr. Quandary.
You've solved the quandary.
We all remember the Shakespeare play it's based on, of course.
Of
Yes.
course.
Classic.
Of course.
Classic.
Yeah, and Gus was just recently, you went on the Bill Nye Science Show, the Netflix show, and that was the whole scope of your appearance, was you were making fun of his
Bill
CD-ROM
Nye
game.
Stomp the Rock.
Was that what it's called?
Yeah.
Stomp the Rock.
It was not great. So, and I made this joke. It actually made it onto the Netflix episode. Was the icon to launch it was a stop sign. It's like, what? how are you not thinking about how you
The
present your
golden
game?
age of UX design.
There you go.
It's like the icon's literally telling you, don't
do it.
Don't do this.
So what is the best thing you've seen so far at E3 this year? Last year you told me about the Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Yes.
So good.
And
That's
I was like, that sounds like the greatest game ever I've ever heard of.
and
played it last
We
year.
did, yeah. We played it last year. This year, it was all about Far Cry 5 for me, because I love Far Cry, and
Dogs.
Dude,
Did you upgrade those
Get
hustle
dogs.
sticks
Not
on
just
Boomer?
dogs.
Hustle- we got to play Boomer.
We got to
yeah.
play with Boomer,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you get to pet him,
Yeah.
and he licks your face, and he's so happy to see you, and he really uses those hustle
Oh,
On his
confirmed.
hustle
Dog
sticks.
dies in
Wait.
Far Cry 5. Confirmed.
That's the third
That's
act.
too much emotional
Here's
baggage,
the
not the
thing, though.
leverage.
So this was the major tease. I was excited about this, at least when we talked to one of the Far Cry developers. Is it's fangs for hire,
I saw one.
as in yours might your Boomer might not be the dog. What if you have like a freaking eagle?
That was
Wait,
the other.
so
Xerxes.
an eagle
Eagles don't
flew
have
by,
fangs.
and there was
They
a
don't,
paw print
no.
above it, and I said,
Maybe just,
so
like,
can
one?
I hire him? And he went, we cannot talk about this yet.
What about the
It will
egg
co- more details will come later. And I was like, Eagles.
I want.
That's a
Yeah.
glitch,
That's a-
please,
that's a-
exclusive. That's
Yes.
a exclusive. We got that hot exclusive.
We call that a scoop.
Intrepid reporter Mika Burton.
Oh yeah, no, your reporter name is not Mika Jones. Sorry, that happened.
He renamed you
When did I
sometime
get
between.
renamed?
Well, like he's
reporter.
he
So
had
I was just naming things on the set. I named 2 plants. I was on a roll.
he
was feeling confident.
The thing is he had some donuts. Something
Oh, I
something
saw
about
that,
the
yeah.
sugar interacted weirdly with his system. He started talking to plants. They're now named Sarah and Stanley.
Is that Sarah Stanley over there?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
over
they're
there.
over there.
Succulent?
They're looking. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you're
it
Mika
might be the
Jones,
same.
apparently.
Why?
And you got renamed because he felt like you needed a secret reporter name.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there you go.
did anybody really miss Aisha Tyler this year for the Ubisoft
You
host?
hush your mouth.
well,
She is our good friend.
I know I missed her. I'm
Okay,
saying I
but you're
missed
saying you
her.
didn't even
I'm
miss her
saying
like
yeah,
I did.
yeah.
Yeah.
We all
So
missed
apparently
Aisha.
there was a right answer to that question.
Apparently there was.
There is a right answer.
I know that your friends what reminded me to ask this question.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
I thought the presentations this year, Bethesda in particular and Sony as well, it was one person that did the entire
A
presentation.
lot of them felt less like press conferences and more like trailer reels with an introduction.
Do you know who I think picked up the banner of Aisha this year was Janina Gavankar
Oh,
when she did the
absolutely.
EA play, and she came out, and you can tell just like Aisha, you're like, oh, she
She
plays
knows.
these
She
things.
knows what she's talking about.
She
Genuine.
loves
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
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 She also had an amazing dress on.
And she's so easy to look at, Janina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
She's very
agree.
look-atable.
That's a controversial opinion.
Is it?
No.
No.
Speaking of genuine people who are easy to look at, though, when is LeVar Burton going to be hosting the Ubisoft press conference? I would love to see that.
Would you?
Yeah.
Well, there's always next year.
Always next year,
There's
Ubisoft.
always next
Come
year.
on, pay
Ubisoft.
attention.
We should get a hashtag going.
The first thing I
Let
noticed
LeVar
when they
host.
announced
Let LeVar host. I love it.
Yeah.
when they announced Bridge Crew, the first thing I noticed when everybody's putting on their VR helmets, I was like, it's a Geordie simulator. It's a crew of Geordies.
Oh, yeah, when they put it on? Yeah.
Everybody
Full
gets to
crew.
be
Everybody's a Geordie now.
Everybody gets to be Geordie.
Promo video for
We
it?
did, yeah. I played with Jerry Ryan and Carl Urban.
Nice.
Yeah, we had fun.
Well, you might have the most unique experience of anyone playing that game. Was it for you a step back to be on the bridge again at all? Was that?
I said it and I felt it when we played it, and I absolutely meant it. It really does feel like being in an episode of Next Gen.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's
Except
so
you
many.
played as the captain and you crashed.
Because that's not his position usually.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well,
It's a simulator.
That's a
Yeah,
couple
it's-
ranks
yeah,
up. I mean,
right.
come on.
Right.
That's why they have simulators.
It's practice.
Exactly.
It's practice.
I feel like we should mod
Practice.
one of our like Vive headsets to have like the Geordie visor.
I was
on
just
it on the
thinking they
front.
should have
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
appliques
Oh,
or like
special
stickers.
edition.
Right,
It's a
yeah.
little skin you put on the outside of it. Yeah.
Right.
We just need to get it wireless first.
I love those
Yes.
digital real world experiences though, because we also got to talk to the Bethesda developers who worked on Wolfenstein. And they have on the floor, they built the diner that's in that trailer. Mika, you went and had a strawberry milkshake.
I
there.
did. It was so delicious. It had sprinkles.
I hate
And
it.
whipped cream.
Nazi,
Oh,
Nazi
wow.
sprinkles.
Got some serious
I wanted a
shake
milk.
over
I wanted a
here.
milkshake,
very-
and I looked at the line, and
I just-
walked
I
away.
was just
wanna
say, I
draw the
imagine
line
that
here
like there's got to be a
because-
huge line for that.
This is the second time that you've called them Nazi milkshakes, and there's a big difference between Nazi milkshakes and Nazi occupied milkshakes. Okay? One is forcing a viewpoint on me that I do not want just
All
by
I'm
drinking
saying,
a milkshake.
it was not milkshake free America. It was in an occupied territory. That's all I'm saying. So the cool thing was though, they built that diner for the trailer and it's in the game as well. But then they just turned over the 3D files to the construction crews and they just built the diner. So
Oh,
then these
really?
developers got to
Yes.
walk
It's
through
like
their
a
own
factory,
diner.
We were
That's
talking.
very
cool.
We had
Isn't
a
that
couple
cool?
of
That's really
Wolfenstein
cool.
developers on the show yesterday, and they were saying how weird it was for them to see something that they'd created digitally and never imagined you'd see it physically. But yes, that's exactly what they used to end up making the booth, and so it's very odd then to see this thing for real.
Built to specs.
For
And
realsies.
There's
Yeah.
been a real like theme park vibe to the last couple trade shows where like Capcom had the full Resident Evil house, Zelda they had all of Hyrule.
Mafia had
Mafia.
the amazing
Like New
street.
Orleans.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, it was
cool.
People
awesome.
were throwing beads.
Yeah. Right?
I missed the beads.
Yeah, people were throwing beads. You didn't have to show your boobs, but there were beads.
Probably for
You
the
didn't?
best.
Damn it! I feel
It was optional, Bernie. It was
Damn
always
it.
optional.
I feel taken advantage of now.
I'm telling you, please stop.
Sir, put your shirt on.
Please, sir. Please.
We'll give you as many beads as you want. Just leave the booth. Yeah, which is, I mean, telling, I think, as well for E3 as a show, because 2K had that enormous New Orleans presentation that you could walk through last year, and then this year, no booth. They had a house around the corner.
It's well, E3's
You can't go
changing
that
a
big
lot.
every year.
It is tough.
Right? You gotta
Yeah.
take your
Pretty
years.
big. I mean,
Yeah.
they've got a pretty elaborate thing over at EA Play.
Do they?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's we went and played Battlefront 2 over there, and it's.
Okay.
I mean, they've got a huge building set up over there, full of computers for people playing.
Just
They've
not
got
doing it at the convention.
there's a
for whatever
life-size
reason.
Titan over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Okay.
move.
Okay.
But
But
it
it's
just stands there
big.
looking
They've got
awesome.
they've got like a whole line of food trucks. They have like a whole thing set
All
up
right.
over there. It's
Yeah.
really nice, but it makes you wonder about. And this is a question that keeps coming up: the economics of having a large centralized show like E3. And you know, you look at something like Comic-Con, where 90% of Comic-Con now is outside of Comic-Con.
Correct. South by Southwest is the same way.
Yeah, and so you have to wonder, like, if EA can look and go, it's cheaper or still within the budget to rent out this entire theater and like half a block surrounding it versus having this giant booth.
versus the internet price for being
Yeah.
here.
So like you have to wonder how long the economics of giant booths at E3 can continue.
Well, it's changing a lot though. Since they sold 15,000 passes to the public this year, which has also really changed the on-floor dynamic, like for the show floors.
Very much so.
It is packed, absolutely jam-packed. So, but it's a shift in dynamic as well, because it means that instead of being just an industry trade show, it's now a consumer show as well. Which I found interesting when they announced it, because at a trade show, when you're dealing primarily with media or with businesses, there's the understanding that this isn't finished, things are going to be like broken or kind of janky, and you get an idea like what can be overlooked and what can't. There's no such handshake with consumers. They can and will think absolutely whatever.
Sure. I also think that for me, if I was coming in just like I want to spend a couple days at an event and play some games and find out what's going on, I would much rather go to a PAX. I would much rather go to something that isn't an E3, because at least now with this first transitional year, it still doesn't feel like a public show.
they
They
don't-
don't know what to do
Right.
with
The
with
booths
people just
don't have
coming
the
in.
infrastructure built to handle the public. Like a lot of the booths still revolve around like having a PR media check-in desk. Like nobody really thought about like, oh, how do we pivot this to address a wide range of consumers who might be visiting.
It still looked like the exact same show floor as last year. Like, I don't think Ubisoft's booth changed at all. They had the back hallway for everybody, they had their upstairs, and they had their show floor. They had the Just Dance Center in the middle, and it's like, it was just packed with people that were just staring and trying to get in line. It's like the lines were longer, and people would just stop when they saw a trailer, and I'm like, please move.
Yeah,
Please
so
just,
you really
just please
out
move.
of the aisle, just like off the side, just a little bit.
Exactly, just a smidgen that way before you can just check your phone.
I think this year they're really banking on the idea that so many people in the gaming community have always just sort of like wanted to go to E3, right? We were all kids and we wanted to
was
go
the Holy
to
Grail.
E3.
Right.
So like now we can go to E3, but so for this first year they were like, good, we'll let them into E3, but we don't really know what to do with them when they're in here, but we'll take the money now and figure it out for next year. I think the E3 Coliseum, I think the thing that Keeley's doing, where they're adding panels and adding some off-site things, are adding value, but I don't think enough people think about E3 as a place to go see
I agree
panels
with
and
you with
shows
that, yeah.
yet.
Not
absolutely.
yet.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
There are a lot of things that you don't get at E3. Do you know what one of those is, Anthony?
It's not milkshakes, I know that, because you can get any Nazi milkshake you want at E3.
Nazi occupied,
Nazi
please.
occupied
Milkshake.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But the,
Vichy dairy products to you.
Now the sprinkles straight Nazi.
Those are sourced. Those are sourced.
but what you don't get at E3 is a lot of sleep. But you need it. You need a good sleep. And that's why this episode of Glitch Please is brought to you by
Nice segue.
Casper.
Killed it.
Solid segue. Solid segue.
That was so smooth. I need a nap.
Yeah. Hey!
How about, would you like to take that nap on a Casper mattress? Because Casper is an
She's unstoppable at this point.
Wow.
The ball has
Go.
begun rolling
Yeah,
down
yeah,
the
yeah,
hill.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
happen.
So,
I'm gonna leave.
LeVar,
so
thank you for
can
joining
do
us.
this.
It's
All right.
always a pleasure
Thank
when
you,
you're
LeVar.
here.
Have a
so much.
wonderful
Great to
time.
see you.
you.
Have a great E3.
You
y'all.
too. You too. Bye.
And I do want to play at some point Star Trek Bridge Crew with you. I want to figure out how to do that.
Yes.
I've got the setup.
We are on it.
Would
I've
love
got
it.
the setup.
Perfect.
We're almost there.
Jump in. Why don't you grab the mic and jump
This
in?
is
Take it.
this is the
Say goodbye to my dad first.
okay. This is the Burton family seat.
Yes.
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 It has been Burtonized.
It's been Burtonized.
We're good.
Jones.
Bye. Great to see you.
All right.
Yes.
Bye. I'm sorry. I'm so tired and so a little scattered. I need my Casper mattress so that I can sleep.
Nice
like-
retransition.
Right back in it.
3 of them. I got this. Casper is an online retailer of premium mattresses for a fraction of the cost. Casper is revolutionizing the mattress industry by cutting the cost of dealing with resellers and showrooms and passing that savings directly to the consumer. Casper's mattress is an obsessively engineered mattress at a very fair price. It's made of supportive memory foams for a sleep surface with just the right sink and just the right bounce. Plus, its breathable design helps to keep you nice and cool, regulates your temperature through the night while you're all sleeping. You can buy it easily online and completely risk-free. Casper understands the importance of truly trying out a mattress that, in all reality, optimistically, you're going to spend a third of your life on. Casper offers a free delivery and painless returns with a 100-day period, so you don't have to lie down in a showroom, because that feels kind of weird. You can save an additional $50 towards a mattress purchase by going to casper.com/glitch and entering promo code RT. That's casper.com/glitch, promo code RT. Terms and conditions apply, but free shipping and returns to US and Canada. And you would expect a mattress to be like crazy in terms of shipping. Mattresses are big. These are insane. They come in the box. Like you've opened them before.
I
They
love
go
it, yeah.
poof, and they like almost like inflate. It's crazy.
If only we had one here to demonstrate. We would
We
be
would just,
fighting
like,
over
lay it
that
down
at this
right here.
point.
I gotta say, this floor is not bad.
We did seriously discuss having an episode of Glitch Please in which we just slept
We're all laying down.
here for an hour.
It is
I'm
E3
down.
is a steady
Just a
slog,
nap.
isn't it? It's just like, and you're on the move all the time too, on top of everything else.
Yeah.
So,
Intrepidly reporting.
It is. It's a lot. It's crazy. It's RTX is, I think, very draining for us because we're constantly on the go. But E3, I think, is right up there, man. It's. We also, after RTX, we're smart and we're like, it's the end of the day and we have like some things we have to do at night, but we don't go to like parties or anything like that. E3 kind of almost can't avoid that. So
RTX is the RTX of naps.
yeah.
Multiple naps in the day.
Schedule it.
It's almost part of when you come for work. It's almost part of the experience. Like you have to go and you have to meet people and talk and set up business deals.
Which we used to not
Got a wheel and deal.
do that stuff for a long time, Gus.
I've done
Like,
at least 17 business deals while I've been here.
Was
I've
it all
done-
in the JW?
Oh, so many business deals in the JW. So many
you
regional
managed-
salespeople in
You managed
blazers.
to get
Yeah.
canon. You managed to get yourself canon in 2 games while you were here.
What was the other
You
one?
can't remember one,
I knew,
though.
I knew it was XCOM
So
2.
okay,
so
so
you
you
can't
are
remember it.
XCOM
Oh,
2.
Far
The other one was
Cry.
what? Far Cry.
Yeah,
Far
yeah.
Cry.
You are now DLC in 2 different games.
So
I
we,
think they're
impressive.
just gonna give Boomer my shirt and call it the Spuds McKenzie like DLC.
confirmed the Carboni universe.
Ooh.
they're all connected.
Right.
I like that.
XCOM
car-
exists in
the-
the same universe
The
as
CCU, the
Madden.
Carboni Connected Universe.
Carboni connected you. I mean, look.
The CCU.
I feel like I can do just as well as the Universal Dark Cinematic Universe. I
the
feel like I
Dark
can do just as well.
Universal
Dark
Cinematic-
Universe Cinematic
Dooku.
Universe. The Dooku.
Is that actually what it's called?
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
is now.
No, that is.
I remember people saying Dooku, but I didn't realize it was.
I thought it
the
You
was
thought they were
official-
talking about Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I was certainly hoping that was going to make a big comeback. maybe get a Dooku spin-off.
Every segment that I did after those developers were on, when we went to the audience questions, it was always like, ask them to put Anthony's shirt in the game. And I'm like, I'm done. He's got enough in his life. He's in 3 games now with this shirt. I can't ask the Madden developers.
I want to
if they're
thank
gonna put it
everybody
in.
out there for getting me my sweet, sweet shirt royalty checks for these games.
Royalty checks? Are you
I'm,
crazy?
I'm retiring early.
You're just honored to be in the game. Please.
I get 20% of all microtransactions.
Oh,
Thank
Video
you
game
very much.
developers
Damn.
don't pay royalties on anything. I think
Every
there's a
time you turn
strike
on your
over that right
Xbox.
now.
Yeah, that's so like the video game, the voice actor strike still going on.
It is?
Yeah, it's 230 days, they said. or something?
254 or 56. Yeah, no,
Yeah, it started
so-
it started in February.
I saw that the voice actress who did the voice of Chloe in Life is Strange,
Ashley Birch.
who
tweeted
is
about
also the voice
Oh, it was
actress.
Ashley Birch that did that?
Yeah,
From
so what
Event
happened is
Horizon.
they
Oh,
announced
Event
they
Horizon.
announced Life
Zero
is Strange
Dawn.
2. They said
Zero
Life is Strange
Dawn
2 is coming.
Horizon.
And
there it is.
Ashley, people noticed in the Life is Strange 2 trailer, they're like, that doesn't sound like Ashley. That doesn't sound like Chloe. And so she tweeted out, I'm so disappointed. I'm so sorry to say that I couldn't be Chloe in this game. I'm still a writer and a consultant, but it kind of breaks my heart that I can't be this character, but I can't step across the picket line to do this.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
it's an amazing, like, it's a very strong decision on her part. It's the right decision.
It's hella right.
It's hella right, which is how teen girls talk.
Well, no, it's a very tough decision because I'm sure clearly she enjoyed playing the part, and she's giving it up. And really, she's giving up playing a part that she enjoys playing, really for the benefit of a lot of other people. It's other voice actors that are going to come after her, and they're going to benefit from what they're doing right now on the strike. So it's something I don't think that has a ton of visibility, but it really is starting to affect people's lives.
It is this sort of strike too, where a lot of people, the effects aren't felt as soon as you would feel the effects of something like, there was the almost. There was the almost.
The
It was the writer's
strike.
strike
It came close.
from May. It was like
Wasn't just
within
a few
a day.
days, yeah.
Before that would have happened, and those results would have been felt by this fall. But video game development is such a longer timeline. This is a multi-year thing. So even though it started in February, now is when we're going to start to feel the effects.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
And I gotta say, it's like I love the video game industry. It does kind of have a history of maybe people's work-life balances being out of whack. There was times where spouses
EA
developed
spouse?
the EA spouses and were suing EA, because they were losing their
What?
spouses to long development hours.
Yeah, there was a blog that was this was several years ago, but it was a blog that more or less outed EA. It was a spouse of a developer. It was outing them about like the crunch time, the long hours, just that generally it was not, there was no work-life balance. Like if you were working on this thing, you was 100%. If you have a family, you had a family.
Crunch is this culture in technology and in gaming that is just sort of accepted and has always been accepted.
Right.
And it's very, very unhealthy. But, even I was talking to people who work for developers around here today. I was talking to game devs, and they're like, just to get our E3 demo done, we were all working for a solid month, almost round the clock, sleeping in the office, not really seeing, just to get this vertical slice demo done.
Right.
And I mean, that's important, right? It's an important marketing tool, but is it so important where we can't figure out a way for the industry to plan a little better for these things and ease the struggle that these people are having in their lives?
Well, I
And
mean,
now
that's
we're in,
sort
like-
of a.
No, I was just saying, now we're in this weird time that I've been seeing people romanticizing crunch and romanticizing.
Yes.
Well,
There's
I mean,
almost like it's a weird humble braggy thing.
Yeah,
It's-
like I
we're
saw Apple advertising, and they were like,
Oh, and they're Planet of the Apps.
Oh, they got
Yeah.
called. They got called out pretty
Yeah.
hard. For
yeah, they got
that.
called out really hard, like, oh, not ever seeing your kid, worth it, am I right? And I'm like, no.
No.
Well, it's an
Depends
industry
on
that's
your kid.
growing up right now. There's so many people that want to work in it, and they're so passionate about it that they've committed so much of their lives to doing it. I mean, it's the same kind of thing you see in like the Japanese production of manga or an anime.
Right.
There's so many people that's like this is what they eat, live, and breathe, but they've created through their passion, which is unfortunate, but they've created an environment where that becomes the expected life to
If
And it
someone
is-
chooses to live their life for their work, that's fine. You can choose what to do with your own life. And if you want to be a workaholic, that's great and good for you. And I wish you all the best.
Take
do
naps,
what you
though.
want. You cannot then start a company and decide that your philosophy about how much you like to work is exactly the way everybody else should have to work.
Also, don't torture your family.
Yeah.
Like, I feel very bad for, like you said, if you want to be a workaholic, by all means, but that doesn't mean like I'm workaholic, but I'm going to abandon the rest of everybody that I love for my work.
Sure. Well, I mean, you grew up in an entertainment family. Entertainment is long hours,
Yeah,
especially
I
on a
mean-
set for a TV show or a movie. You're there, 14 hours sometimes.
And that's the thing. Like I always say to, like, I was kind of a nanny kid, like my nanny picked me up from work because my parents were both on sets, but at the same time, my dad would come home.
Where were you working at the time?
What? Oh, where was I working? No, but like my parents would come home. My mom would read Harry Potter to me at night, or my dad would play video games with me. It's like even if we had a
God,
small
you're 12
amount of
years old,
time-
aren't you? She would read Harry Potter to you as a kid.
Well,
I think it was in college.
I could read, but it was time. It was like time for us to spend together. Like I could
I
read
gotcha.
Series of Unfortunate Events, but she would read it to me
Yeah.
because it was like bedtime, I guess. I don't know, but it's like we found a way, even though they were always off. My dad lived in Canada for like a year shooting a movie.
Yeah.
And I would spend 2 weeks there and 2 weeks at home. It's like we found a way. We were all workaholics, or not me. I went to elementary school. They were all workaholics.
But she was
But you
very
were
driven in
very
the
passionate.
Grind.
Very
Very
yeah, I cared. I colored in those lines.
Recess grind, man.
So it's like I feel like if an actor and a makeup artist can do it, you can't do.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's we talk a lot about it at Rooster because we have big productions, especially like animation, and they'll go into the end of a project and they want to make it as good as they can, and it's like there's always this balance of telling people, hey, go home, and when they're like, no, we're at the end of the project, I want to make this thing awesome, and even to the point where I remember when we moved into the 636 studio, the first place that you worked, Ryan, in Achievement Hunter, and I bought a washer and dryer so that people could it was just convenient, and also for costumes for live action, and I thought it'd be a cool benefit. But then I was like, being careful, I was checking myself in my head. I was like, am I sending a message that it's like people are expected to be here all the time? It's like you have to work that balance out. But there were certainly times when I was starting out, to Anthony's point, where I didn't sleep on a Thursday night for the first year of Red vs. Blue. I just was up all night encoding 6 different versions of the file to be released on Friday. And it's like, that's just the way I did it. I can't tell other people they have to do that, but I definitely made those choices for myself.
Well, and coming back to the convention thing too is in the last over the last several years, it's got to have gotten worse for developers to some degree because there's E3, but now there are multiple PAXs every year that the developers need builds for. Before there would be you'd have your E3 build, you'd have your Gamescom build, maybe there was like a CES build or like a TGS build.
I was staring telepathically.
No.
Most developers do crunch the hardest on the RTX build.
They
Yeah.
do.
absolutely.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah,
Thank you.
but now we've got
Great
we've got
results.
PAXs, we've got multiple international RTXs. There's Gamescom, there's TGS, there's there's like a couple of different.
RTXs.
I already said that.
But I
He
think
just
to
really
me,
wants to nail home RTX.
There are
RTXs.
definitely more events.
Tickets
and I
on
think
sale now.
The thing about more events is not
RTXevent.com.
necessarily that there's more crunch to make a build for every one of those events. I think the danger of that is then you are constantly pulling key figures and key players in your team away to travel and promote the game, and then they become promoters of this game the more
Instead of
they're
developers.
away. It doesn't necessarily add to crunch because what you see is you do still see the E3 build, the Gamescom build. When I go play a game at PAX, it's usually the same build I played at E3. You know what I mean? They may add a little something, but they don't crunch for those other shows the way they do for those two.
Just want to point out that Beyond Good and Evil 2 will be playable at RTX this year.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft is crunching on it.
They've been
right
really crunching. We said that crunch is bad.
You got me excited, and then you made
Did
me
you really
sad.
think that
I got
game was gonna be
so
playable?
excited.
Crunch is bad unless you're making that beautiful Space Pig game and then you get back to work and you don't see your children.
I'm at RTX 2025.
Right, exactly.
It'll be playable there.
I think the interesting thing about like us saying, I hope developers can go home and get sleep. I hope developers can go eat. It's like we love what they do and they sacrifice so much for us, but at the same time, I want to go to every dev on that floor right now and just put them in a blanket.
Yeah.
And to be like, I know you've gotten no sleep today. I know you've gotten no sleep for the past 2
I
months.
actually
We'll
had-
just get like a delivery of FEMA blankets.
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
like start you're okay. It's gonna be okay.
I felt kind of bad earlier today. I got a chance to walk out and I played another game. I'm not going to say what game it was, but I was playing the game and I got to the end of the E3 demo and I did something that broke the build. And every developer in the room turned, like all their heads snapped over, and they all came in like, "What did you do? Tell us exactly the series of events that led to this right now."
You are a human log.
Some invasion of the body
Explain.
snatchers shit where they just like felt it and
so, like,
all
their heads just
turned.
And it was like, "Oh no, it's fine." Like they were like, "You're already at the end anyway. You didn't miss anything." But tell us, how did you get here? What is this?
Well,
What
look,
did
you don't
you
have to tell us what game it was, but what did you do?
What did you do?
Did they waterboard
There
you?
was an area where you're supposed to go, and like you're supposed to go down this ramp to get to a door. But instead of doing that, I said, "Oh, I see. If I like jump off in that direction, I can try to kind of move myself
Why
back."
did you do that? Why didn't you just go down to the thing and go to the door?
I wanted to jump down. I don't know. So I
You
jumped,
wanted to explore burning.
and then when I
Explain.
jumped, I hit the floor, and it wasn't far enough for me to have died. But as soon as I hit the floor, I died and then respawned in a different location without having hit anything. And then when I respawned, every enemy around me was dead. And then the door was
You
closed.
blacked out and murdered a bunch
Wow.
of people
Yeah.
in this game.
Everyone is envisioning a different game in their head as you're explaining this to. To me, you started off playing XCOM and you finished in like
I was
Monster
picturing
Hunter.
Mario plus Rabbids. That's weird because that's sort of on an XCOM thing. Yeah.
Everybody knows about all the doors that are
I
in
think
that
that's
game.
why I thank everybody at the booth when I leave after playing a game, because I'm just like, I know that you sacrificed so much to be here right now. I know that you're probably running on Red Bull and a cracker, Thank you.
Oh, I just ask him for free shit and be on my way. What do you got a pin or a hat or some shit? Why am I even
Are
here?
they socks?
Is what I say.
What do you got?
some
Hats?
socks?
Some socks.
I missed the socks. Those were good.
On
Yeah.
the other hand, though, there
I just shrug
are
and go, the first game was better.
I guess this is fun.
On the other hand, though, there's a really cool energy about E3 because there are so many announcements and reveals here, and this is the first time a lot of developers who have been working quietly for years on something get to show it off.
Yeah.
Or get to
It's-
tell
and
people
that's-
what they're working on.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can
yeah.
finally say
Like,
what it was.
And
This
those
is
people
what it is.
Are right next to the ball pit full of scantily clad women.
Wait, what?
There's a ball
Where
pit?
is
Such a
what?
thing?
Yes, there's a ball pit with scantily clad women.
Are they?
Ryan, where?
If you
I
had,
need
if you had
details.
to say where
If
on
you
the
had
map
to say,
it
like,
was and how
where,
far
if you had
away
a
it is,
point
like if I had
and,
to
like, how
walk to
long
it
the
right
walk
now,
would
do you
be?
think it would
Seek
take me like
thee
3?
the Nyko booth.
Nyko. It
Oh,
would be
someone-
Nyko.
There is. They
So,
have a ball
Anthony?
pit with people. You people get in the ball pit, and they sit down in the ball pit and play Mario Kart. And then there's some booth babes hanging
Battle
out
tracks.
there too.
I get why that happens.
Really?
Are they in
That's
interesting.
bikinis?
I don't
Can you
know
be
why.
specific?
When you
Thing.
think of Mario Kart, do you not think of ball pits and scantily clad women? Because that's like the
I
first thing
do
that pops
now.
in my head. Okay.
It was not an
gotta-
association I already had, but
You got to get the hot girl starting the race.
they seem more like gatekeepers on the ball pit. Really, they're there to bounce people out when time comes.
Oh,
Isn't the thing that starts the race in Mario Kart a turtle in a cloud? Isn't that what that
Yeah, but
says?
it's like a really hot turtle in a cloud.
It's a metaphor. Do I have to explain it to you?
It's a scantily clad turtle
Yeah.
in a
It's
cloud.
like a real.
in a
I
bikini.
mean, really only
cloud
wearing.
bikini.
Only
The canonical
wearing a
name
cloud-
is Sexy
I-
Lakitu.
well, here's the thing: is
found my next
someone,
cosplay.
someone told him that they were supposed to show up for the first day of work, and they said, "Come skyclad." They couldn't find anything. So they were like, they got confused, brought a cloud, and they went, "That's close enough."
No, we'll work with it.
So I think it's in West Hall.
Skyclad's a way of saying naked.
I know
You
that.
looked
I
confused.
didn't
no, I'm saying
know
who
that.
told somebody to show up to work naked?
I don't know. Whoever hired a turtle to start races.
There you go, booth babes.
Whoever.
Have you made it over to the booth I told you about?
I've never heard skyclad before. No, I haven't.
You never
Okay.
heard Skyclad? I've heard Skyclad.
No. I'm
Look, I read a lot. I read a lot of fantasy. I
She
think it's
does.
a
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that like an
does.
Outlander thing? That feels
does.
very Outlander.
it's
Confirmed,
just a
Ashley
classy
reads
way
fanfiction.
of saying totally naked.
Yeah.
Starkers.
Starkers.
Nuded up.
No, not the Starks.
Not the Starks?
No. Well,
100% nip.
But to bring
What?
this whole conversation back around, the reason we got this discussion about the work-life balance of video games is I do think that there's a lot of improvement to be made in the relationship between the video game industry and the voice performers. I mean, I've met a lot of voice performers that I'm big fans of, and it's surprising how little they enjoy the success of those productions. I'm a little surprised by it.
yeah. So I'm trying to remember the exact all the exact details of the strike. I think part of it is things like they want to know, for example, what games they're working on. A lot of times, voice actors are brought in to run lines on something, and they don't actually know what game it is.
What?
Because developers are so secretive because they're so worried about leaks.
Right.
And so they don't tell the voice actors what they're working on.
Well, and then on the flip side of it, sometimes the voice actors know, and they know for years. And, if you're somebody who works as a performer, if you work on camera or whatever, you need to be able to say who you've worked with, what you've done, be able to show some of it off to
Correct,
get
yeah.
bigger and bigger jobs. And when somebody's like, you cannot talk about anything about this to anyone ever for the next 5.5 years, it's like, well, how do I build the momentum in my career if I can't even share it with other potential clients?
We actually talked about
you
that
wait
with
5.5
Morla.
years. Duh.
Yeah.
It's like writing a
between
resume,
jobs.
but you can't say anywhere that you worked. And
Get
don't
your
call
shirt in
them
a couple
Liz.
video games, get your 20% of the microtransactions, and hang out till the next job comes in.
That's keep
It's
living
what
the
I-
dream there.
It's what I imagine trying to look for a job after working for the NSA would be like. It's no, you can't call anybody.
What did you do for 20 years? I don't know. I was just like
Around.
finding myself, I guess.
Right.
And
typed
you,
on
and where you
stuff,
live,
and,
what you do.
And what you Googled last night. I know what you Googled last night.
Favorite horror movie?
Favorite horror movie?
Yeah, I know what you Googled last night.
Oh my god. I was like,
No. You know what I
It's the
Googled last
millennial
night?
version.
What'd you Google last night?
How to keep it smooth.
I bet you did.
And you know what the answer was?
how? What was it?
Dollar Shave Club.
Ooh.
So I'd like to
On
say
that.
where I don't know where Ryan's going. Oh,
He's going to the bathroom.
he's going to
Clearly.
shave. So I want to say thanks to Dollar Shave Club for sponsoring this episode of Glitch, Please. I, especially because it's summer now, this is like shorts and skirts season, and this way I don't have like foresty, hairy legs. Like I don't have Gus legs. And it's nice too because they're not crazy expensive, and they come to you. A Dollar Shave Club delivers amazing smooth shaves. You can get high quality blades and amazing shave butter sent right to your door for an incredible smooth shave. And you can make your life easier, so you don't have to go to the store, get lost in a wall of razors. Razors that either are super cheap and gross and are going to draw blood, or expensive and like got all these whirly gigs that you don't need, or you have to go find someone to even get them out in the first place. Right. And laser targeting. Okay, gonna be honest, that sounds cool, but maybe not for a razor. And with Father's Day right around the corner, I mean, what better gift is there to give than a membership to Dollar Shave Club? For a limited time, new members get the first month of the Executive Razor with a tube of the Dr. Carver's shave butter for only $5 with free shipping. After that, your razors are just a few bucks a month. That's a $15 value for $5. In your first month's box, you get a weighted handle, a full cassette of 4 executive cartridges, so we're talking a new razor every week, and a tube of shave butter. You can only get this offer now by going to dollarshaveclub.com/glitch. That's dollarshaveclub.com/glitch. Actually, they have a lot of really nice smelling stuff too. Like they've got it's an amber lavender soap that smells heavenly.
I just one of the greatest things in the world that living in this modern era is that if there's anything you do on a repetitive basis, you can almost automate it at this point.
You just
Yeah.
you make
Yeah.
it come to you, and then you're set.
Like Amazon has a pantry or whatever it is,
Yep.
and you can just be like, I need this every 2 months.
I'm
every
eating
month.
brown rice every day, so bring it on. Send me some brown rice.
Amazon can probably do that for you.
They do it. They do it for me right now. But yeah, but it's like, so Dollar Shave Club is like, that kind of thing is perfect for that, because it's like you don't want to think about that. And I love the idea of Gus hunting for a CVS employee.
Oh.
It's nightmare fuel.
Have you ever done that? Like gone to a Home Depot and needed something, but it's just taken too long and just left?
I've done that before. Yeah, we're like I'm like walking around aimlessly. I'll even I'll put on. I have like my specific helpless face, like looking around, going,
Like, can I give you a Gus pro tip?
Yeah.
Gus Life pro tip here.
All right.
"Don't."
If you're lost in a Home Depot and you don't know what to find, install their app, type what you need, a location will find you, and it'll tell you exactly what aisle it is
What?
in the store you're in.
Except the one downside of that is the Home Depot is like the one place in the world you can't get.
Can I just
something.
suggest? Can I pitch a new first series? It's a new
Metal
first series,
building.
and it's called
Okay.
"Make Gus Do Things with People."
No, cancel
we
already.
said we
You're
just
on that show right now.
send Gus.
This is it. We're living
Send
it.
Gus to different places to accomplish different things where he simply must talk to a person.
Oh, that sounds like a documentary.
That sounds rough.
Like
I
like
love
if
it.
you were to go to a bunch of different types of like shows or events or like conventions.
No,
Ah.
not doing it.
Okay, well, I mean, there are no wrong answers in brainstorming, and we'll come back to it.
Only if I get a Carboni shirt. It has to be tied into the Carboni universe somehow.
We're calling that the Carboni
Connected
the model
universe?
now, the economic model. So you get a shirt, you get 20%, you're set for life.
You're set for life.
The
20%.
CEM, very serious business. Good for
I
video
d-
games, and you can build your resume once every 5.5 years.
Love it.
I don't see the problem with my life plan, Bernie. I'm sorry.
No, listen, I think it's a great plan. I think they will call it the Carboni economic model in a few years. People will be following it. It's
I
a
will
game
murder
plan.
you for this
I
pin.
know.
Yeah,
we'll
so
have to
you
talk.
got
What
a
has
you got a
happened to this
Splatoon.
bed?
Is that a pin?
I'm gonna
or
It
a
is.
Is
sticker?
it Splatoon 2?
Did you
It
say
is.
mow him?
I will murder him. I will
okay,
absolutely
that's
take him
different
out
than
back
mowing.
and shoot him with a shotgun like
our
they did
kind-
old Yeller.
Well, just do the whole thing where cut off your legs and put swords on them, and then you got your murder sticks, and then you kill him. And it's an elaborate plan, but I think it'll pay off.
Can I have a little discussion here? A talking point that might be a bit of a dark cloud.
Ooh.
We have spent a lot of time talking
Is there
about
a new Dark Cloud?
what we're most excited about at E3. This is a great segue to that. What are you the most disappointed that wasn't featured?
Last of Us 2.
Animal Crossing.
Animal
Animal
Crossing.
Crossing.
Really?
I'm with
Well,
Gus.
here's the thing. That's not even disappointment. It is, but I can't say I'm disappointed with Nintendo for not bringing it because we did get a really cool logo.
Oh,
We did
this
get a really
logo.
cool
Ryan,
logo.
did you see the Metroid
Ryan, did you
Prime
see that
4
amazing
logo?
logo?
Prime 4.
Oh,
Did you know
the
they
logo.
they were
Great
really
logo.
logo,
It's
Ryan?
so
It
lovely.
has
Must
like
have
a
been
metal
so
texture.
distracted by that other guy that was like, yeah, that other property you want, we don't even have a logo.
Yeah, it's like not far enough. It's not far enough in development to even have it hasn't got to the logo guy yet.
You're talking
Here's the
about
thing.
you're
Here's
talking
the
about
thing.
Pokemon
We're
Stars.
talking
Yeah.
about Pokemon.
Pokemon
If all
Stars.
you've engaged so far as a logo artist, you may not even get that game.
No, that's been
They're not
Ryan
committed. They're not committed
Hey,
to
How
you.
he leaned
Count-
into that?
There's,
Counterpoint.
there's not a guy.
Counterpoint,
Totally.
marketing and design is 50% of the game.
Hey,
I think we'll see Metroid
let's-
Prime in 6 months.
Let's take this body language down a notch.
guys.
This body language is out of control
I'll
right
tell
now.
you something about Metroid
What
Prime.
you got?
Let
What
me
you
tell
got?
you something
What you
about
gonna do?
Metroid Prime.
What you gonna do, sir?
Kiss, kiss, kiss.
So tables turned. I'm glad thank God your dad wasn't here. People were about to not be on their best behavior. But yeah, so what yours was Last of Us 2?
Last of Us 2,
You're
yeah.
disappointed by that? I was disappointed by the fact that there's no major Elder Scrolls announcement,
Yeah.
besides the fact that they were going to put Skyrim on the billionth
come
platform.
on. You got Morrowind, which is already out.
Well, it's
And
the
Elder
yes.
Scrolls Online.
Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind.
you got a
which
card game?
I'm honestly like with Morrowind, I'm kind of tempted to try it just because Morrowind was my first Elder Scrolls game, so it holds a very special place in my heart. So I'm kind of curious, but I
You-
don't
you
want to
got-
play. I have a no MMO rule.
You got
This would
VR
break it.
Skyrim?
Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Skyrim?
Skyrim?
You got Switch,
It's
Skyrim?
just,
Skyrim?
Skyrim at this point
Skyrim?
is going to be we have an announcement in 2018 about it. It'll be 7 years since
Let's
we've heard
talk
anything.
about Skyrim as a service.
Skyrim.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It is it's an awesome game, and I'm actually looking forward to the VR because it's a new way of experiencing the game, not just a new platform.
Also, you could be like,
Oh, I hope that to Fuss Row Dot that you actually have to shout in VR.
I hope not.
Do you remember,
No.
like,
I
did everybody
love that.
harken back to a time when our first Ace Attorney game came out, and maybe we were sitting on a bus or in a crowded room, some sort of public transit the first time we had to scream out objection, or like blow into a microphone
Yeah.
really
I
loudly.
do remember with the I used to play the DS. I was like I took a train to work. It was my commuting thing. It was what I did. And every time something like that would come up, I'm just so embarrassed trying to like huddle up and be like.
Your Honor, I have an objection, Your Honor.
Just rub your hand over the mic.
But then instead of being like the weird person talking to myself on a train, I'm the weird person like sticking my face
Yeah, you're-
into
you're-
electronics of some
You're
sort.
giving weird train blowjobs.
and
Screaming
yes.
bad dog at your lap as you're playing Nintendo.
People
or when you
looked
had to
really
teach
weird
it
every
its
time
name,
I
you'd be
gave
like,
it a blowjob.
Rover. Rover, your name is Rover, and you're in public, and it's awkward.
You should take those viral videos of people on trains, in subways yelling and harassing everyone, and just like Photoshop a DS in their hand and see if it makes sense suddenly.
See, it's fine. It's totally fine.
It's a
Yeah.
context. They
Yeah.
just need the context. and it
oh
makes
no,
sense.
he's got a Bluetooth earpiece.
Yeah, he's leveling up.
Okay.
Yeah, he's fine,
Yeah,
fine.
it's just spousal abuse. It's fine.
What?
I did think it was interesting that Oculus just gave it all a skip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They walked it
We're
off.
actually next door to a developer that is showing a game, Archangel, and they're showing it on PSVR and Oculus and on Vive as well. So you say Oculus gave it a skip. Did Vive give it a skip as well?
They're here though. I mean, you see them all over the place on the floor. But
But they don't
I
have their
not
they don't
seen
have their
an
own
Oculus.
space. But remember last year Oculus had a huge thing.
They did. Yeah.
There you could chart the progress of Oculus in terms of just like awareness momentum, I guess, or buzz momentum from like their first demo station off in a corner somewhere to then they had like 3 stations and a little bit like with beanbag chairs, a little bit of a line,
Yeah.
and then the next year one of the biggest booths on the floor, huge wall, super flashy, all crazy, and then nothing.
Well, you have two things going on there, right? Number one, you have the launch of this hardware. So they were working up to that. So obviously they wanted a huge presence there. But that was going against another force, which was the Facebook buyout.
Right.
Which Facebook,
Yeah.
you get about a year as a company after you get bought out where you get to do whatever you want the same way it's always been. And sorry, is this foreshadowing? Same way it's always been. We just want to see what you do, and let's watch it for a year. And then after a year, parent company comes in and says, okay, here's what we're thinking
Right.
now.
I have some notes.
I have some notes.
Yeah.
Just a couple notes. Maybe you're not a game company anymore. Maybe you, because I think Facebook is really looking at this as like
They think it's a
telepresence,
social.
connecting communities, social,
right.
and so they're kind of looking. Games for VR companies in a lot of ways is still kind of like this Trojan horse way to get in, right? Gamers will buy VR headsets, but they don't
And then
necessarily
people
know
just
that games
have.
are the biggest thing for VR.
Yeah.
Right. In fact, for a lot of cases, they might not necessarily be like they're going to be, and although that goes more into augmented reality, I guess is like all of the different. I think social would be more AR, but that's
It is.
just me. I mean,
It
because
is.
so that you can actually see people instead
Yeah.
of just like.
Well,
'Cause cutting
Snapchat's an
yourself off the
AR
road.
app.
It is.
With the face filters, the real-time face filters. It's
I think
AR.
There is a lot of social and telecommuting that's going to be possible via VR. I probably take one meeting a week in virtual reality at this point.
No kidding.
Yeah, where you are
Evan was talking about
How does
these.
that
Less
like,
social
how does that
interaction for
work?
Gus. Of course he would.
where everyone has an avatar, and then if it's on the Vive, like you can see their hands, and you can pull up, depending on the applications, different applications. You can pull up, local presentation from your computer if you're showing a deck. Pull up laser pointers or stuff like that.
Do you every time you do that, do you just pull the headset and be like, I'm in the Oasis?
One of the
Get my haps.
one of the
and haptic
applications
gloves.
where you can do these virtual reality meetings gives you the ability to spawn a camera. So the first thing I did, it was the very first VR meeting I ever took. I spawned a camera, moved it out in the distance, and then turned to it and took a selfie. It's like this. So I have this image. It's like the first meeting I ever took in virtual reality, and all of the participants
That's crazy.
in that meeting.
How do you find other people who are willing to do this?
So
These are all virtual reality companies.
Okay.
all about it. So we're gonna wrap up in just a second here. We've got to get prepared for a whole new day of the E3 streaming tomorrow. But I do want to note, Caden sent me a note that Skyrim on Xbox 360 had shouts via Kinect.
I remember
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That's right.
I
call.
completely forgot about that because no one wanted to.
That was
use
around the same time we were screaming grenade at Mass Effect 3. I remember that.
Or my
Yeah.
favorite, you're crazy.
Oh.
You're crazy.
That was Dead Rising.
Bernie,
Right?
Bernie
Yeah.
absolutely would do that, and I would come in from another room being like, "What?" And he'd just be shouting at the TV, "You're crazy!"
You're crazy, and also leave me alone. So it's like two things that when you hear someone outside the room and then you walk in, there's no one else there. It's like, oh, you've lost
You're
it.
crazy.
You've lost it completely.
All right, so
but
by
one
the
thing I have to say
time-
about VR before we
Yep.
get too far away from it is I'd say the exact same thing I said last year, which is VR hardware manufacturers stop trying to turn a PC peripheral into a platform. It's not a platform. VR is probably at this point not going to make it, and it's definitely not going to make it if we fracture the marketplace and try to pretend like one peripheral or one monitor / headset is a platform when it's really not. So stop doing that.
I'm holding out
Please
hope.
Yeah,
stop
knock
doing
it
that.
off,
Because
guys.
I've walked around a bit on the floor, and it is still pretty out there. Now, it's not in the place that it was last year, but Sony's got a whole wall of VR.
Sony
can
sold
fish
a
with
lot
mouth
of units. They
They're
got
the only
support
ones
it.
doing well.
Yeah.
They're the
There's-
only ones that can turn it into a platform.
It's true. But, I mean, I'm still seeing a lot of Vives out there, too. They're, in a lot of ways, benefiting from Sony keeping the fire lit under developers for VR.
You want to get to the VR demo on the first day of a show and not the last
Yeah.
day of a
Yeah.
show. Those headsets get a little...
Make sure you take your Lysol wipe.
That is a good note, actually. The guys that I'm trying to get some maybe hook up with so we can get some wireless headsets. The two ladies that are manning that booth are both wearing full latex gloves, and they go in and take it off and sterilize it between every person.
I asked
little
my
bit
dad
too-
if he wanted to go do the PlayStation VR, and he's like, no,
Thank you for asking. but no.
absolutely not.
I do not
That
want to
I would
touch
never
that.
put that on my face right now.
Yeah.
Bring your own headset. Be like, here.
Right? I brought my own.
Plug this
Thank
in.
you, though.
I'll take my own pink eye. Thank you.
So by the time you guys see this, E3 will be over. We will all
Womp womp.
be
And we'll all
probably
be dead.
asleep. Oh yes,
Yeah,
dead.
sleep.
We will be dead. Dead sleep. But thank you guys so much. This has been a really awesome year. We've got our show has been bigger and crazier. We've had more game demos and developers than we've had ever before.
We have
you
crazier
guys are all
shirts.
wonderful.
I got to touch an Xbox One X.
Crazy shirts,
Yeah,
socks.
I just
Xbox
want to say
One
this
X's.
is the first time I've worked with you guys on anything like this, and it's been super fun. It's been one of my
It
favorite
feels like you've been with us
A3s.
for
Anthony's been
years.
great. All right? Working with Anthony's been a
You know
blast.
what?
Absolutely
Hold on.
killing it.
You've been okay.
You've been
Oh,
great.
wow.
You've been
Thank you.
great.
Whoa.
You've
And I do
been
want to say,
fantastic.
your
This is
entire community as
awkward.
well, from the moment I showed up,
Gotta
has
try
been
to
just
neg him a
tweeting
little
me
bit.
wonderful
Okay, I
things,
get
saying
that,
wonderful things. So thank you to all you guys.
Quick,
You've been
everybody tweet
wonderful.
Anthony. He's only okay.
Stick around a while. That'll turn.
All right, so thank you guys, and thank you guys, and thank you.
Thank all of you.
Thank you guys.
And
Happy
And
birthday to
Patrick.
Patrick.
Happy birthday.
Don't look so enthused.
All right. All right. Now get out of here.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's get drunk.